Three items from Israel. Hamas says that the 48 hostages are going to disappear like Ron Arad. And then Lieberman says they'll never sit again in a Haredi government. And Qatar is demanding an apology from Israel for bombing Doha before they'll sit again. Before they'll sit
anywhere
again.
over here. I'll sit here. I'll sit here.
Which one of the three you say is the worst? Which one of the three pieces of news?
They do so much psychological
The worst
propaganda.
is Lieberman.
They're brilliant. We can learn from them. Good morning, good morning. You open, you have the Rambam in front of you. Take the Rambam Sefer Mada.
I know, we gotta bring the table up.
No, we don't have a 20. Let's sit and learn.
Which
You're right. Okay. Good. Sorry.
So look a second in פרק ספר מדע, הלכות תשובה, פרק שלישי. הלכות תשובה, פרק שלישי. The book that you have in front of you, it's page 106. You have another book here. You'll open it to take pictures.
Yeah. Thank you.
Morning, Larry.
Boker Tov.
Good morning, Larry.
Boker Tov. Good to see everybody. Almost Erev Yantif.
Shana haba b'Yerushalayim.
Man. Lovely.
And the Rambam begins the chapter, פרק שלישי for הלכות תשובה. You know, I gave you the page. Oh,
I know, but
you should say on top, David, you should say on top, Sefer Mad'a, page 106 in our print. כל אחד ואחד מבני האדם יש לו זכויות ועוונות. Each one of us, over there, in the middle of the page, each one of us has many positive things we do.
Not for you. Not for you.
And of course, wrongdoing. מי שזכויותיו יתרות על עוונותיו, if the good things we do are more than the others, tzaddik. Again, not by weight, not you put them on the scale, 1,000,000 against 100,000. Quality-wise, quality or quantity? It's not quantity, it's quality. In a minute. ומי שעוונותיו יתרות על זכויותיו רשע. Remember, we talk to teenagers, we talk to people our age, forget about me. The Rambam is going to tell us a minute has nothing to do with numbers, has to do only quality and quality. Nechza, if you are in between, you're Benoni. So first the Rambam begins that each one of us has his own account, positive, negative. וכן, המדינה, county, state, אם היו זכויות כל יושביה מרובים על עוונותיהם, let's say Ukraine, there are 0 Jews there, I mean real Jews there, 80 million people there, if the positive is more than negative, הרי זו צדקת. ואם היו עוונותיהם מרובים, הרי זו רשע וכן כל העולם כולו. So for instance, we are not aware, but before the famous flood, 1,000 years before, there was another flood, and the third of the world was wiped out. This is the time of Enosh. Why is that? Because the third of the world lost the right to exist, beings, yes? We know the Holocaust because the Jews in Europe lost the right to do it. We know the state of Israel, yes? So the Rambam is saying individually, then the community that we live by. Okay, so the Rambam continues, go now to the next halacha, but go to the end. The end of Bet. Yeah, like 4 lines before the end. V'shikul zeh. Look, it's in your book, Mel. It's page 107. 107, second line from the top. And you have it at the end of Bet. V'shikul zeh, the decision, are we on the positive or the negative? It's not by numbers, 1,000,000 verses happen. There are the figured lamb by the sides. Yes, zechut. Sometimes you have a merit. Shehi keneged kama avonot. Sometimes you do something. Ways many averot. Look at the example the Rambam gives. Yan ki nimtza bo davar tov. The Rambam is referring to a biblical case. Yeravam ben Nevat, one of the really terrible kings. Rabbi began as a big scholar, who was all his life a big scholar. He developed a new philosophy in Judaism, and many people followed him. He brought to Avodah Zarah. His son is very sick. He sends his wife to disguise herself. This is a biblical story, straight, no Rashi, no Midrash. He told his wife, disguise yourself and go to the prophet. Ask him, is my son going to live or die? She's not coming as a queen. As she enters, the prophet says to her, why do you have to disguise yourself? But before you come home, your son is going to die. But this was a favor that he's done. Why? He would be able to bury him in a regular grave and he would have a regular funeral. Why? Look at the pasuk. Kinimtza bo davar tov. Unlike your husband or your family who are going to die in terrible ways and humiliated, your son is going. Why? Kinimtza bo davar tov. What is a davar tov? He, being the son of the king, was told by his father to make sure that people who want to go to Beit HaMikdash are unable to go. Because Yeravam built a version. The north, right? I remember Yeravam put 2 pairs of tefillin every day. He kept Shabbat and Kashrut, glad kosher, yeah? He puts it in every day, but he had a different philosophy how to worship Hashem. Huh? His son says, I'm asking his father, obviously, this is not fair. Those who want to go to Beit HaMikdash should go. So he removed all the military police and blocked. But you are a son of your father, you are following the philosophy of your father. Yan nimtza bo davar tov. One action gave him, this is the pasuk the Rambam quotes. So it's important to realize, how do we measure? Each one of us goes to shul. Each one of us keeps Shabbat. Each one of us is doing mitzvot. So how do we, where is the scale? The scale to weigh what we do. Let's just take an example here. Take a Gemara, share it with the guy next to you. Take one. So usually, take one, share it with Mel, give it to David. Go to Gemara Sanhedrin, like It's only an example. Murad, good morning. Where are you, Murad?
I am in Italy, Rabbi, flying back to Turkey now.
Oh, are you in the airport?
On the way.
On the way. Very nice.
Shalom.
Yes, Shalom, shalom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He's a Kohen himself.
He's a Kohen, but to hear, look at that.
It's always good to receive.
And a safe return while you're at it too.
Thank you.
And it's water along the way.
Look at Gemara Sanhedrin, Daf Yutet Amud Bet. Gemara Sanhedrin Yutet. That's fine. Yutet, 19 B on the bottom.
What size did they make that time?
Thank you.
It's one of those interesting, very interesting Gemara. Look at the bottom of the page. First, the Gemara is telling us that 2, 4, 6 lines from the bottom. Towards the end, the Gemara says, Ktiv Palti, Uktiv Paltiel. Who is this fellow that we don't hear his name? Palti, Paltiel. Palti means someone was saved. Who is that man? David HaMelech had a dispute before he became a king with his father-in-law Shaul. David claimed, Michal, your daughter, is legally my wife. Shaul says, no, it makes a difference now. There's a halachic interesting dispute. But Shaul is the king. He gave his daughter. Then David says she's married. She's married.
Oh.
He gave her to, he said, look with him a second. David gave his daughter, remember, according to Shaul gave his daughter, who according to David is fully married, to another man, to a wife. What is this fellow Paltiel should do? What should he do? She's a beautiful woman. She's in his house.
Or in the bed.
Right.
Is it, Rabbi, we had that whole class on this. It was a sword in the bed or in the wall. Where did he put the sword?
וכתיב פלטיאל, אמר רבי יוחנן פלטי שמו. ולמה נקרא שמו פלטיאל? שפלטו קר מן העבירה. Hashem assisted him not to fall into the עבירה. מה עשה? נעץ חרב בינו לבינה. In the bedroom, instead of having 2 mattresses, he put a sword. כל העוסק בדבר זה, ידקר בחרב זה. To remind him daily that even though he is a very attractive young woman, legally you cannot touch her. She was with him for 3 years.
3 years.
Until David, you imagine every night when you go to sleep? שואלת הגמרא, how can you say that he didn't touch her? והכתיב, later when David becomes a real king, he is demanding to have his wife back. וילך איתה אישה, a husband escorted her back to David, שנעשה לה כאישה. They looked like a husband and a wife to all the spies that Shaul put around their house. שואלת הגמרא בהכתיב, הלא הוא בחור, he's crying as he's scolding the woman he didn't touch for 3 years. על המצווה להזיל מיני. You know what he's crying? For 3 years, I have a challenge every day and I overcome it. I'm crying, I don't have this opportunity anymore. See, how do you measure greatness? If you have a challenge. The Gemara, Paltiel, his name is hinting to his. Later we're trying to compare him to other great people that we know. So remember, this is what the Gemara is going.
Sounds like the biggest sacrifice about 12 that we said
But
before.
the main thing is to realize.
Boaz.
Guys, I was raised together. I put shachrit, so are you. I'm putting tefillin, so are you. This is not a challenge. The challenge is, of course, we have to put tefillin. Of course, we have. When it's difficult to do, when you do it and try to do the best you can. Let's continue.
Rabbi, can I ask a question?
He has quoted her עד בחורים, שנעשו שניהם כבחורים, שלא טעמו טעם ביין. He and she were like young men, not young American model boys, like boys that never touched a woman. He and she for 3 years. This is how you measure greatness. I'm sure he prayed, I'm sure he put tefillin, I'm sure he did A, B, C. What makes him above others? Yeah, what's your question?
Rabbi, just a question on him. I don't understand the situation. Shaul was a man that knew Torah. Now it
takes us only 2 hours to explain the halachic dispute between. Again, let's say you're coming to your wife and you tell her like this, you borrowed from me already $1 million as I was getting you $1 million. But legally, I'm going to marry you now with a ring or a coin. So again, you're telling your wife, beautiful wedding, you are married to me with a coin and the $1 million you owe me, I forgive you. In her mind, what did she get married? And the $1 million that suddenly she got? Or this was the machloket between them. Shaul promised to ever kill millions of dollars. Then Shaul
and his daughter, he said.
Then remember, but this is as a payment for the marriage. And he tells him, before you marry her, go kill 100 Palestinians. Bring me a proof. When she is married, this is all the rabbis multiplied by 100,000 would not be able to solve it. It's a major argument. It's a major argument. The Gemara says it's a machlok today. The case can happen today. I'm telling you that the boy is dating a girl, she borrows money and he wants her, he lends her. Then the night of the wedding, here's a little coin, hold the money.
And I forgive the loan.
You don't have to give it, and I'm marrying you, but the pleasure that you have for all the money that you don't have to pay me, plus. Every normal woman who didn't go to yeshiva for 25 years would say $1 million. This is a machloket. Right? So this machloket that was not solved. David really believed this. Shaul really thought, no, she's not.
Did David and her live as husband and wife, Rabbi?
What?
Did they live as husband and wife?
David
and did they live as husband and wife?
Right. Perhaps he did, but Shaul says to him, but remember, if David lived, and according to Shaul, she's still a single. Now to take a woman that David held as his wife and give it to another one, she's a married woman. Anyway, now let's measure this act of this young man. I try to think about it. Yeah? She was a beautiful woman, a young woman. Next. אמר רבי יוחנן, תוקפו של יוסף, let's just read it. תוקפו של יוסף, על בתנותו של בועז.
Boaz, Yosef, and him.
So first we're starting תוקפו של יוסף, please look at the Rashi on the bottom left. תוקפו של יוסף על בטנותו של בועז. דבר גדול של יוסף, remember Yosef, for a full year, young, beautifully, and the wife of his boss,
She was harassed.
whatever he did, is כדבר קל וקטון שבבועז, but Boaz was much greater. Now, what is the common denominator of the two? Again, the same common denominator. Overcome the challenge that you have now. The Gemara is going to explain in a minute. The Katan, Rashi continues, Tokef means Davar Gadol, Vechamur. Okay, so look a second in the Gemara. So Amar Rabbi Yochanan, תוקפו של Boaz, the strength of Boaz that we can relate to, and ותנותו של Boaz.
The party.
תוקפו של Boaz, now remember, which means Boaz is a much bigger challenge than Yosef, and ותנותו של פלגות אלייש.
Why was that a bigger challenge, Rabbi?
In a minute, because she's not married and she begs him married. What's wrong?
But Yosef she was married.
So this is what the Gemara is saying. Yosef had a bigger barrier by knowing she is married. So if you have
It's easier to be away.
even though they are both very attractive women, but if you have layers of Yirat Shamayim, Yosef says, איך אעשה הדבר הזה, וחטאתי לאלוקים.
Rabbi, was the avon with Yosef being with a goya, being with a married woman, because she's a goya, just being with somebody she's not supposed to. What was the avon?
She's a married woman.
But we said married woman goya is not held something. Somewhere one of our classes.
This is only. Let's say, if you have a war where you capture a woman. The fact that she is captured by you and she was married is not an obstacle. Because by Bnei Noach, like the Arabs today, if the husband says to his wife, you're out of my house, she's out.
David just wants to understand.
Right?
45. Is it Eshet Ish or not?
Seems to be, it would be. It would be because it's one of the laws of
Of course it is. Yosef says, וחטאתי לאלוקים.
You are doing you a favor.
But the Chokhmah.
So the Chokhmah Yosef had a bigger test because it was Eshet Ish.
No.
That's what
No.
I'm saying. You could look at it both ways. You could look at it both ways.
But again,
The way that he didn't have
every time I have a challenge, if I have a religious excuse not to follow it, it makes the challenge a bigger challenge. Yes. She tells him, I have a problem with me and you are going to have children in the future. Yes. She's telling him, look, I know that I'm married, but it doesn't say Yosef told me you know what you're talking about. Yosef says what I see now is it's a no-no. But when he comes with a challenge of money, power, positions, makes it a much bigger challenge. The Gemara continues here.
So Boaz is complicated because he's in line.
This is why it's so complicated. Because Boaz,
He's jumping, but the avon is jumping, not with being with a woman he can't be with.
Yeah, תוקפו של בועז, the Gemara explains, now your question.
Sorry.
על ותנותו של בועז דכתיב, ויהי בחצי הלילה, ויחרד האיש, he trembled. Now remember, the man lost his wife. He is alone, he wakes up, and a naked woman, she was not wearing a bikini, there was no light.
At his feet.
ויחרד האיש וילפת. מהי וילפת? אמר רב שנעשה בשרו כראשי רפתות. He was physically erected. Look at the Rashi. נעשה בשרו, נתקשה, ואף על פי כן כבש יצרו, and he controlled his desire. אף על פי, אף על פי שפנויה הייתה, she's single, ואימו במיטה, she's there in the bed with him. אבל יוסף, אשת איש הייתה, she's a married woman, ואינה אימו במיטה. Here is again, remember guys, Rosh Hashana is not to make us depressed in the past, but if we are ready to turn a new leaf. What is it? Try to raise the bar in one area that we have challenged. Remember, Hashem doesn't want us to pray Vatikin, Hashem doesn't want us to put Rabbi Nutra, Hashem doesn't want us to go to the mikveh every Erev Shabbat, but each one of us, each one, every human being, especially if you are in the world of real Torah, has challenges. Let's find one of the challenges and raise the bar. Don't say I'm going to conquer it. Conquer it is. So Zaman Auerbach was in the hospital when he was in his 50s or 60s, when I was younger later. He had an operation. It was a serious operation. And at night, he told his son, stay with me. He says, Abba, he says, but the nurses are coming in. He says, Abba, you're sick. And this, he says, only the son can say it after my father died. The doctor, they said, the Yetzirah can make me young, and he can make the nurse look more attractive. And he knew what we are. He looked in the mirror and he didn't kid himself. Wow. My name is Rabbi Auerbach and I wrote 4 books and I have 100,000 people that ask my advice. I know who I am. I'm a human being. This is what the Gemara is saying. Like everyone has to have the guts.
We have the story that in the Gemara, he had to put a ladder by the haystack and he had to yell fire, fire.
Those stories are really
everyone loves the story, but we are afraid to look in the mirror. This is what we are.
So
the Gemara is trying to say, don't think the gods. Let's not think that the gods we kid ourselves. In real challenges, but thank God we don't have those challenges because otherwise we would fail right away. However, Rosh Hashana is about which bar am I raising? Again, if I say something, I mean, I couldn't bring more Gemarot, but the Gemara says, one of the rabbis told his students, if you honor your wives, you'll become successful, and it brings psukim. It's very easy to talk about Adam v'Chavaro, but it's very difficult, guys. We're getting older. We, and my wife is getting older, yes? And to realize you lived 50 years, you know exactly what your wife is going to react, and for 50 years it won't on your nerves.
Doesn't help.
No, she knows more than you. She knows more about you than you'll ever know about her.
You hear what Eli says? It doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
But to
all
come,
the experience doesn't help. In other words, you don't fight less or things like that. That's what's amazing.
But you see, but this is exactly what Rosh Hashana is about. Maybe we should decide this year. Let's learn the lesson.
Right, you decide, then you go home, you shut the door within 30 seconds, it's back to, you know.
I give newly married guys advice how to keep your wife happy. So I tell them, make your wife happy. I say, I need you to tell me this and trust me. You get up in the morning, you're in a good mood, she's in a bad mood. I promise by the end of the day, you're going to be in a bad mood.
Rabbi, you think you know your wife, the playing field keeps changing.
No, remember, it's very.
Baruch Hashem.
No. It's easy to see that our wives. We are exactly the same. Sure. If you ask your friends from 30 years, how am I different? They wouldn't tell you the color of your hair or your physique. They'll tell you you are more sensitive, you are more this. The reason is. Rabbi Shmulevitch says something very okay. Only you can say it, but you have to believe to see it right. Says like this, if you're 18, 25, 30, we have different desires. So our desires are divided between money, woman, food, whatever. Then as you become old, kabod also. Big.
Instagram.
Kabod is not as big as 25 because your desire is the same desire divided to 5 areas. as you become older and the desires to others are less because of our age or physical, kavod becomes, it's not something new. I had a man 80 years old in my shul. The man walked into shul like a snail. He comes to me one Shabbat and he says to me, I never forget it. He says to me, Rabbi, lately means in the last 2 years, no one asked you to be a chazan for yourself. Then he says to me, even if you ask me, of course I would say no, but someone should ask me. You know what kavod is? He wants to think that people should remember that for 20 years we asked you occasionally, this is an old man, guys.
He doesn't have the ability. Does not have the
As
ability.
we become older, your kids are not interested in your advice, even though you would love to think that you know. Again, not because you don't care about it. No. Guys, this is Rosh Hashana. But the Gemara, of course, is putting it at the edge to show us what made Rabbi Yashiv used to say about himself. His biography is very nice to go take pictures with him. Tens and tens of years he lived like a real poor man, and tens of years he learned non-stop. So people asked him, when did you ever have a challenge? He says when he loved music. He loved Chazanim very much. In the 30s, the famous Chazan, he's Ashkenazi but very famous, Yosef Rosenblatt, very famous. He came to Israel to shoot a movie on top of Mount Olive, singing songs of Yerushalayim. He says everyone in Yerushalayim came to listen to him. He says, I was dying to go. And my friends told me, you'll never ever. He's in Israel now, I'll never come again.
Now and ever.
And he says, I started to walk to the concert. Is this a challenge for me? I would laugh at myself. He says, and I said, listen, I'm in the middle of learning. He went back. He says he believes that this is one of his turning point of his life. You know what the challenge is? But again, the point of the story is not this, that. The point of the story is he knew that he has a challenge and he has to make a decision. He has to make a decision. I'm trying to watch my weight. I got up early this morning. I'm hungry right now. Yes, I didn't eat before the tefillah. It was very good cake. I said to myself, take a cup of coffee, just one bite for this day, just one.
You didn't do it, or you did?
I did. You did? No. What's the big challenge? The challenge is to say to myself, I can say no to it. When I come home, I can take 2 more spoons of, real yogurt. Yes. The answer is we have it a million times. But in Bein Adam Lechavaro, this is when you have it 24/7. It's your wife, your co-workers, whatever you want. Okay, let's just finish this, then let's continue.
One of the key things is, like you said, the wife and co-workers, think twice before you speak once.
Right? This is
a key thing.
And
Sometimes we're prisoners of what we said.
Each one of us knows that today I'm very tense. Today I'm very much under pressure because I got up to slichot every day. Fridays is much worse than Sundays, yes?
Yeah.
Everyone, but this is, if a man says, I'm going to read myself, we are afraid to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, take a walk on the beach without music, without your iPhone. Who am I? Right, just we cannot ask our friends to write our eulogy. Because no one will write it, yes? I asked the class once, they were laughing, but says, let's divide the class to have you write about hell, the good, the better, the ugly, and she about you. None of the kids. Why? Not because you don't want to write on him, because you are afraid to see what your friends really think. We are building images that we like to live by. I remember when Jesse, remember this character, 000, Jesse Jackson, you remember him?
Yeah.
When Jesse Jackson was, the heydays, I forgot the name of the writer in the New York Times, the op-ed. This is exactly what you want about you. It says you contributed nothing and you're building around yourself as if you are somebody. Look, says, what did you do? Okay. Ramadan is the same, but we, the politicians, those who have money or those who don't have money, like to have him because they are going to benefit. No one really supports him. Everyone is supporting him because they are going to gain. We are before Rosh Hashana, we are the same. The good, the bad, the ugly in our life is around me. Let's try to step outside and I mean, I told you, I don't say it in class anymore because kids cannot relate to it. This is before the war, 1932 or something. Rabbi Gordon was Rosh Yeshivat Lomja in Lithuania, and he's in London raising money. One day he receives a letter from his daughter. Rabbi Abramsky, you remember Rabbi Abramsky? Rabbi Abramsky was his host. He sees the rabbi reading it and he's crying. He says to him, Rabbi, what happened? He says, I'm crying from joy. Which joy? Listen good. His daughter says to him, Abba, you and mommy, I think in 1932, you saved $500 to my wedding. She was engaged. Says, my very good friend is going to break engagement because her father lost the money. So me, can you imagine? Me and my Arus means, decided let's give her the $500 and we will have a wedding of 10 people. I'm asking you permission to do it. So the rabbi is crying out of joy. This is the daughter like that. Can you imagine someone is saying that? Well, think about it. Of course, he answered yes, but of course, Rabbi Abramsky was very smart. He says to him, you're a great father, but then he raised $500 in London to give him to go back to give to his daughter. But can you imagine the day you fool yourself to think that you are a queen, yes, and all your life you dream about it, and he says, forget it all this. Have a friend. No, but this is challenges. This is what life is about. And this is really where you measure who you are. I mean, we have a very, very, very good friend. Okay, they moved already. To Lebanon. So the oldest daughter really was one of the kind. He happens to be the brother of. He was a big businessman. Anyway, his daughter got engaged to a fine boy for months. Remember, this is like 30 years ago. They decided to have a modest wedding, not very big, not very small. The parents of the groom for months called them up and they say, we just found out about the orphan. You know, he's getting married, he doesn't have. Would you mind to downsize the wedding and give the $20,000 extra? They decided to have a wedding of $50,000. Ashkenazim divided 25.
Participation.
Let's have a $30,000, a $20,000 gift. And the father said, yes, of course, yes.
Nice.
So what was different? What did they are not wearing the
flowers.
white gloves or the flowers? Yeah, but this is what Rosh Hashana is about. Again, Rosh Hashana is each one, not to, let's
Raise the bar.
Raise the bar in something that we know is important, yes? If someone decides on Rosh Hashana to buy tefillin for Rabbi Yehuda, I'm not laughing. It's great. No, but you understand what I'm saying? This is your.
It became such a thing in the community. I'm just saying.
But this is your challenge. This is your
But
challenge.
Ashkenaz wear Rabbi Yehuda? They don't do it.
All the Hasidim do. All the Hasidim.
But the Ashkenaz don't.
No. Okay. Even by the Hasidim, you do it only when you getting married. One of the gifts that the bride gives the groom is a tefillin Rabbi Yehuda. In Lubavitch, you're supposed to wear it much before. Lubavitch says that even boys at the age of.
Lubavitch wears both?
Lubavitch from the age of 13. I'm talking about real Lubavitch, not the ones.
Not
the ones you meet in the restaurants or in Taiwan. I'm talking about Lubavitch. Lubavitch is the community of Avodat Hashem, and then you have the rest, the Shari Rakot from Lubavitch. But in Lubavitch, you get it age of 13.
Interesting.
Then you start to wear it. No, I'm using, so I can hear.
He wears just that, or he wears
No.
No.
Kind of. Everyone agrees. But I'm saying, regardless how long we spend in shul and how many pages of tefillah, think for a minute. The Rambam is saying that Rosh Hashana is the first of the Aseret Yemei Tshuva. How come we don't say Hashamnu once? How come we don't say Vidui once? And 2 days out of 10. It's a big question. It's a big deep question. What's the answer? How come we don't mention anything about Averot? It's a very no mention. We don't mention anything. We don't mention anything about Averot. Why is that? Now, what is the reason that this young lady from Lithuania, unfortunately, she and her husband died in that? What is the reason that she did it? Because her level of real Yirat Shamayim and compassion was 1,000 times more than others. So, which means her base was Rosh Hashanah is if we really pay attention to what we pray, we really say Hashem Melech with me, Hashem Melech, then it will be much easier to overcome a challenge. Hashem Melech finished.
Rosh Hashanah generally indicates.
It's very easy, but you see, it's very deep. If you pay attention to Malchuyot, Sichronot, and Shofarot, remember I'm speaking about a few, this is the challenge. Do we believe that Hashem Melech? I'll tell you a story, it's very moving to me. Me and my wife, yes, there's a fellow that lived in my block. He bought a new house in the next block, beautiful. Anyway, unfortunately, he has cancer of the pancreas. First time I went to visit him, I couldn't talk. I couldn't find. Then my wife says to me, she spoke to his wife, he's fine, he's doing better. So yesterday we went to visit him. I'm there, so my wife is a Chassid. So he took me to his library, he's a big businessman, and my wife sitting in my, and he says to me like this, listen to me. He says to me, in my head, my brain, I know for sure that whatever comes on me, it's part of life's challenge. And I know it's from Hashem. I know it's for my good. He's not talking about this great. He's talking about, he says, but here in the heart, it's very difficult to put my knowledge here to here. This is Rosh Hashanah. Malchuyot means, if you pay attention, you means me, attention to the psukim, I am building a new foundation which is going to help me. So I told him, if you talk 15 minutes, I'm sure this would have one of the greatest Hasidic masters, his name was the Divrei Chaim, was Ish Kadosh. Kadosh means that every night when he went to sleep, he didn't have any money in the house because there were thousands of dollars, rubles, that people gave him, he gave to the poor. But no, this is not this. This was him. Anyway, he went once to a doctor. He was a very impressive man in Vienna. The doctor was a big doctor. He says to him, what is your occupation? I mean, he realized it. He says to him, I am an engineer. The doctor looks at him, Rabbiner, engineer. Says, what do you build? I build bridges. Bridges? All my life I built bridges from my brain to my heart. This Chassid Mamash. The Chaim has gesagt, he said, Vot Kuli, which means it's not your challenge because you have whatever you have. It's everyone's challenge. And the Rabbi is saying, this is what I teach my Chassidim, is how to build slowly the bridge. So this is the reason why we don't mention at all Hashamnu Chatanu, because the only time we would realize is if the Malchuyot, if each one of us is the son of Hashem, if each one of us has a great potential, then suddenly the Slach Lanu Avinu Ki Chatanu is a different Slach Lanu. But this is only after we internalize, especially those days collectively. Think about it.
What's the reason we don't say
This is the reason.
tomorrow morning?
Right. It's Arab Yom Tov. But look, the Slichot, not bias, Larry, but the Slichot Sfaradim start, Malecha ben Adam nirdam. How come you wake up? How come you're asleep? Why are you asleep? Asleep of what? You don't
Is there
sleep.
changes tomorrow, Rabbi, if you pray after sunset, before sunrise or after?
There's some certain things you don't, certain things you don't see. If you look now, you start to say before something. What
You're talking about the daughter.
Yeah.
You don't.
So about a month ago, I saw a rabbi and his wife whose older daughter got engaged 2 years after the younger daughter got engaged. And the mother of the bride overheard somebody telling the older daughter, now you're okay that your younger sister got engaged. He said, do you think I wanted my sister to go through what I went through? I never in a million years. So it shows you, I was so impressed with the quality of the older daughter who had that sentiment. She wouldn't want her sister to have gone through what she went through. 2 years waiting for her younger sister already got engaged and married, and she's waiting. I was just so moved by it. I said, wow, that's a special person, special parents that brought up a daughter like that.
This is the parents or the
I
school.
was so moved by it.
Are there any words of simcha in the Pesukim on Rosh Hashana?
That's a good question. So,
Like you're told on
That's a
Shabbat.
good question.
What's the question?
He's asking, you have a mitzvah of simcha and Pesach Shavuot Sukkot. Is there a mitzvah of simcha? So באמת, וביום שמחתכם ובמועדיכם ותקעתם בחצוצרות לפני השם אלוקיכם. זה פסוק. We're not expressing it. The reason is, give me one Gemara Rosh Hashana. Let's see if I can find the Rambam.
Well, the rabbi was saying the best words.
It's sort of like Masay Yadai Tovim Bayam Batim Sharab Halil.
But this is what you were saying, Larry, is why we don't say Halil.
I understand, but the idea of simcha, how can I have simcha when I'm fighting for my life?
This is the
Rabbi
problem.
Mazel in this meeting, as I said, the wrestlers, after they had the Shofar, they danced
They
for an
danced.
hour.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying we generally treat it with simcha. I don't know if Ashkenazi.
Lubavitch has a special march. This was a French march.
Napoleon's march.
Napoleon's march. Lubavitch sings after the Kiyot Shofar. He says, we are now crowning a king. Can you imagine if you look at it this way? I mean, let me show you a second, if I can find it. Let's see a minute if I can find it. It's somewhere in the Rambam in Perush Mishnah. Second.
I imagine somebody that they're going to trial. First of all, he needs to think positively he's going to have a good outcome and have faith. At the same time, he's afraid. What's going to be the outcome?
It's
It's a
not
combination.
singing like
It's
we
mixed-
are.
it's
It's not
mixed
really
feeling.
like singing like we do in Rosh Hashana and Eslichot. It's an amazing.
It's a mixed feelings.
You see, the beauty of your slichot much more than Ashkenazim is you have more communal experience.
Yes.
It's very powerful. Yes, by us, only by Vayavor Hashem Apanav Vayikra, you are. Oh yeah, listen, we have those. Make sure you look at it.
You want those for everybody?
We have 5 of those.
You want me to turn it?
But
Yeah.
make sure it's the brown ones, because otherwise don't have Perush Mishnah of the Rambam. It's the brown.
Where are you looking, Rabbi Talk?
I'm looking at Perush Mishnayot of the Rambam in Masechet Rosh Hashana and Perek Revi'i and the Mishnah Over Lifnei HaTeva. Good. So each one of us, I think we have another one. This is perfect. Remember, so take the Gemara that you have. Let's go numerical. Go to page 82. Remember, go in the beginning, from the beginning of the book. Beginning, all the way to the beginning. Gemara finishes page 82.
Where are you looking? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Okay, Pirush HaMishnah LaRambam,
Oh, okay.
Rosh Hashana, Perek Revi'i, and the Mishnah that the Rambam is talking about is the Mishnah in Perek Revi'i, Ha'over Lifnei HaTorah. Yes, you have it? Yes, you have it? Look at the third line, page 82. Give this, I'll open it and I'll open you. If you look with him, you take mine. You have it there?
Yes.
82, yes? Jeffrey, you have it? Oh, you're,
Yeah,
you're looking with him. Okay, very good. So it happens to have, it has to do with what Larry mentioned before. How come we don't say Hallel? Listen carefully, this is a very, interestingly, the Rambam is not using the same language in Yad HaChazakah, but he's using it here. Look what he says. The Rambam says, the third line, you have the third line, yes. ובשעת ההלל, לפי שלא היו קוראים הלל, לא בראש השנה ולא ביום כיפור. Why don't we? Says the Rambam. Remember, this is the Rambam's interpretation of Gemara. לפי שהם, this is going back to your question. לפי שהם ימי עבודה. בהכנעה, מה זה הכנעה? Achnaa means you're standing in front of a king and you bow down. You show that you are achnaa. Subservient. Subservient is the right word. Upachad, umora, me'ashem, ve'yirah mimenu. It says in order to say Hallel, you have to be in a certain mood. Since those days, avodah, achnaa. Now, pachad is not.
Pachad is fear.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you this. I'm giving you just an example. Yesterday, in Shabbat, I said the dafa will be before an hour before mincha. So every time, 10 minutes before mincha, a fellow comes. So someone else says, "Where is Simcha?" He's in Simcha. So didn't you hear he got a stroke last week? Oh. No. In the point. The pachad is not that I might be the next stroke. The pachad is, it's your made in, yes? Am I raising myself to the right level to be secure that I'm on the right? Remember, we started with the Rambam, that we are weighing. So look what the Rambam says. Umivrach, umanos, elav. Umivrach, I have to run away. I have to run away. I love to him. Which means I have to run away from certain things, but to realize that Hashem is waiting for me. As I told you, one of the stories that many years ago was email to my wife. An American chaplain after the war, this is few years in a DP camp, is giving out candy as wafers to kids. Kids are lighting up. Then he comes to one of the kids and he says to him, remember, the kid didn't speak English, but he spoke Yiddish. He says, please pick me up and give me a hug.
Yeah, more important than candy.
Friday, we had a hostage that spoke in Flatbush. It was 500 days by Hamas. I mean, he spoke amazingly, but that's what he said. He's already out. He's already in Israeli territory. Yes? What was his first request before he saw his parents? He saw a woman, a female, he says, can you just give me a hug? I didn't get a human hug for 5 minutes. And I was shivering. He said, your parents are waiting around the corner. When he saw real people, us, the Israelis, he says, guys, this captain said, after the kid says, please don't give me the candies, give me a hug, all the kids put down the candies and says,
Take the hugs.
Rosh Hashana is the day that Hashem is waiting to give us the hug. Hashem is waiting to give us the hug. The hug is because we are his children, but if you realize the theme of all the tefillot and all the slichot, by you it's much more because by you it's the same slichot. It's always B'zchut Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. What does it mean, B'zchut Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? If I'm a judge and I ask it, is your name Shapiro? Are you the son of the? He says, I'm going to punish you double. You're such an amazing father, and this is what you are. But the kid would say, Emet, but I have the qualities of my father and potential. Give me a chance to bring out the potential. This is Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. Each one of us has it. So the pachad here is not to be afraid, and again, me and you, if you look carefully, My wife reads Mishpacha every week. They have the events of last year. She comes to me last night. I forgot twice the war with Iran, the war in Lebanon. We forgot about it. Rosh Hashana. It's to remember. It's a new year. Where is Israel going to Lebanon? How many lives of kids are going to? But so the pachad is not maybe my kid, maybe it's not me. The pachad, am I doing what I'm supposed to do now? Not because of the. And again, it's if we do it right, we start the new year. You know, by Ashkenazim, they say a joke. What is the first Lashon Hara of the year? You come home.
Rabbi's speech?
Okay.
I'm not saying that. I'm speculating.
Or the Chazan.
Chazan. It's one of two. So one.
Usually it's the rabbi's suit that the guy wore.
No, because a fellow in my shoe says to me, I have a dilemma. He says, my son got a job to be a Chazan. I'm praying here for many years. And I would like to pray, and my wife wants to go to. So I told him, if you go to Lakewood, you save the first Lashon Hara of the year. You definitely not speak bad about your son.
No comment about the Hazan.
Anyway, this Shabbat, he decided to stay. Okay, he says he's not sure, but he's very.
He should go to Lakewood, Rabbi.
Guys, but this
His
is
wife won't be happy he doesn't go to Lakewood. We have a happy Rosh Hashana. He follows his wife's request.
What I'm saying,
Happy
to take.
wife, happy life.
I spoke to the senior girls Friday, number one on the list for you, the girls. Remember, I'm speaking to myself loud. I told them, A is Kibud Avayim, and B is Lashon Hara. Guys, today with social media, the way kids bully each other, the way people hear about it, it's non-stop.
But what people put in writing is so scary. It never goes away.
No, but this is the point.
It's worse. It's almost worse than worse.
But again, if we can, I'm telling you again, I'm saying it to myself loud. We can come to Ma'ariv Monday night, knowing I am raising the bar in a sincere way, again, not in a baby's way. I never speak Lashon Hara is guaranteed to speak this year more than us. No. But if we can do it right. בין אדם לחברו, בין אדם למקום, and again, the בין אדם למקום, חס ושלום, not the תפילין לרבנו תם. Let's take the tefillah more serious, to show more respect to the shul. Sfaradim in general have more respect. But everyone take one. You look a second, I'm finishing it. Take a second, we have a Tehillim here. Look in Perek Lamed, Tehillim Lamed, here, Perek Lamed. We say it every morning before tefillah. Perek Lamed. Chapter is Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid. Now look carefully what David is saying. This is when David is preparing to build the Beit HaMikdash that he knows that he's not going to build. Aromimcha Hashem ki dilitani. Dilitani means you lifted me. Velo simachta orivayoni me. And my enemies did not succeed. Hashem Elokai shivati. Shava'ah is one of the higher level of prayers. Elecha batirpaini. If you know the end of his life, David was very sick. Which means there was a time, okay. Hashem, He'elita min sheol nafshi. David felt that his life is coming to an end. Sheol is the lowest. Chiyetani miyadibo. Now, of course, this is in a physical way, this is what he meant. But each one of us knows that this year, last year, 10 years, we were down. Zamru la Hashem chasidav, v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Tirega be'apo. The anger of Hashem is the anger of a minute. Chaim, it's a no. The decision to give us happy life is also a minute. Ba'erev, yarim bechi. Sometimes you go to sleep crying. El haboker, you wake up in the morning. People don't realize, the Midrash says, וירא אלוקים את כל אשר עשה והנה טוב. The Gemara says טוב זה sleep. To kids laugh. Of course it's good to sleep. It's good because sometimes when you have a lot of your mind and you go to sleep, you're turning a new leaf. ואני אמרתי בשלבי, says David, Alamot Olam, David says, there was a time in my life that I was sure that nothing will ever happen. Alamot Olam, the best days. Hashem, ברצונך העמדת להר עליון. If it's your will, desire, I can be strong as a mountain. But הסתרת פניך, הייתי נבהל. The minute you cover your face, I don't see it, yes? But this is what Malchuyot is to realize that even in difficult times, and it looks cloudy or it's dark cloud, it's only Astarat Panim. Hashem is there. Now listen to David, but by the end of his life. Elecha Hashem ekra, ve'el et Hanan. Ma betza b'dami, what's the point of taking me down? Ve'ridati al shachar. Ayotcha afra, can I be thankful to you when I am in the dirt? Ayagid avitecha. A fellow that had 7-8 years ago serious type of a cancer told me that in difficult times, the man is a very generous man, a good man. Says to me, he used to communicate with Hashem and used to say, my fate is in your hands. If I am gone, who is going to support this institution? Who is going to support this individual? Who is going to, this is what David is saying. Ayotcha afar yagid avitecha, and anyway, Shema Hashem v'chaneni, Hashem yeh ozer li. Remember, we say it every day, but from time to time, to take one chapter that speaks to us personally, just say it a little slower, gives us a fresh start for the day. See? Afarta mispedi, you can tell my anguish, my misped, lemachor, to a dance. Pitachta saki, but simcha. But again, it's the way, it has to do with us, the way we interpret certain things. The man is a melcha chavod, but lo yidum chavod shama. Hashem Elokai olam odecha. So, guys, let's remember that Rosh Hashana is about raising the bar on challenges, improving what we do, or stopping slowly what we do. And let's hope that Bezrat Hashem, guys, as always, guys, since I am human, I have to ask you mechila, that from time to time I flare up. I never ever mean it, even though my voice doesn't sound like it. But this is, my wife says to me, I told her, if you learn Gemara, you have to sleep sometime, no? You have to. But anyway, it's
Depends with certain students also.
I know in school, I'm so careful. Of course, I'm asking the kids to do it. I'm so careful because kids never understand.
Yeah, it has impact.
If you're asking us, we really have to ask you.
That's for sure.
As you must continue doing what you do. But sometimes when we make jokes, we're passing.
Crossing the line, you mean?
Bechila and what?
No.
Sometimes we cause sometimes we make jokes because שנה טובה, כתיבה וחתימה טובה.
Tomorrow was at the same.
Tomorrow we'll have a short class also. Normally it's shorter, but we'll have a class tomorrow.
What time tomorrow? 7:15?
The regular time.
7:15 or so, 7:20.
We have to say
Good.
maybe for a few minutes later. But
Because it's Monday. But,
because of Monday, we're doing the family.
so say it.
So I want to do that again. It's on the next week. Nobody knows, right? So I'm looking at the list. And you say, like,
the Sfarim say every time we get another this was, all the books are out. I mean, after Rosh Hashana, we'll have to bring it back. like the Sanhedrin, just push Sanhedrin, live there permanently.
Every time you get out, yeah, you said, what?
It's not scum.
Oh, I'm supposed to- No, just waiting. I'm waiting.
I'm telling you.
I'm waiting. No, they're on the best day. No, they have to wait till they do. And then they have to fill the buildings.
It's scary.
No, so I'm sure Nathan's really funny. When is this gonna happen? Because it's like basically when the murder's gonna happen. Something's gonna get- Only Nathan could say something.
I don't.
No, listen, I can't. It's very sensitive, everything to the people who was, I don't know. Listen, you know what? I have Alan, I have a lot of people that know. Inshallah, if it gets to that point, they'll take care of it. Baruch Hashem, I have good people around.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. They're very good people. They're good.
Okay, amazing.
I'm telling you, I came today, I looked at the shooter.
I know, everybody's saying the same thing. The rabbi,
It was good, he spoke well, we got good
I
reaction.
even told him, but still